We are live and in full effect here at the Coral Springs Brews Room. We're going to talk a little baseball, a little softball, a little girls track and field, a little girls flag football. We are the NCRA Sports Network.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 high school broadcast network, bringing you high school sports and events in the nation.
Everybody, I'm Glenn Stout. This is the NCRA Sports Network coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. As always, I hope you all had a good Easter. I know I enjoyed mine. I hope you guys had a good Easter. And we're full effect, live in color here at the Coral Springs Brews Room. And we're going to talk a little bit track and field. First off, first thing on the list, a little Broward and Dade County track and field. What's it looking like in the Broward County area, Damien?
Fast. Legitimately, we're talking about some of the top-notch sprinters and also field event participants, possibly not just in the southern region, but also in the state. We're looking at, of course, we'll be remiss not to mention one of our own Boyd Anderson Cobras, Lady Cobras, and Miss Callie Davis-White. We actually now call her Mrs. Dash. That's the name that I gave her. She gets out those blocks really, really fast. You're talking about having one of the nation's leading fastest 100-yard dash time at 11.56. And also in the 200, she did rank number 3rd with 23.81. But, of course, you're going to always have some form of competition, and her competition seems to be, at least for as Broward County is concerned, is the St. Thomas Aquinas Crystal Sparling, who has the top 100 times with 11.57. But, right now, Mrs. Dash is literally just ripping it to pieces as far as really just carrying on the torch. Again, she's committed to go to Florida State University. That's why she chose Florida State University. The first thing that she just started naming her coaches and said, you know what, have you not seen what we have coming out of the gate for this year? So I'm looking for Florida State to do some big things, similar to what LSU. As usual, absolutely.
FSU is definitely one of the premier track and field colleges throughout the country, including the University of Florida. Obviously, many champions, many Olympians come from the SEC conference throughout Tennessee, Tallahassee, Gainesville, LSU, and the list goes on and on. I'm going to go ahead and assume, as many of you know, 2 weeks ago we were off this past week for Easter, but 2 weeks ago, the track and field championships at Dillard High School, we were able to be there live. NCRA Sports Network, KDA, we were there to be in full effect. I'm assuming some of these people that you named were actually in that event, Damien?
Absolutely. You're looking at some of the top schools being, the Boyd Andersons, the St. Thomas, of course. Right now, they're literally the Broward County leading team, male and female. And right behind them is the Boyd Anderson. And I'm telling you right now, they have some goats going on over there at Boyd Anderson. Got in contact with the beautiful and awesome coach, Miss Thomas, Coach Thomas, who's the young lady that the NFL professional Josh Bynes, also an alumni of Boyd Anderson, spoke very, very highly of. Phenomenal coach. You know what she's talking about, because she has people begging to come to her program. She doesn't do any recruiting. They just want to be a part of her program. She is a joy to be around. But you're looking at some very, very talented track and field teams. You got Boyd Anderson, of course. You can't forget about Ely. You can't forget about Coral Springs and their distance. But I'm telling you right now, St. Thomas, they're distance runners. They have a freshman. Good gracious! First of all, has a 4.5 GPA. She's the state champion in cross country. She just ran past. She lapped a couple of people in a 1,600-meter run.
Amazing.
And not to mention their mile relay. Those 4 young ladies, my gosh! I'm talking about they actually set a county record again. And you're talking about, actually all of them are coming back next year, but they have actually the fastest time in one state last year, and they're right on course for winning state this year.
Okay. Well, that was the Dillard Track and Field Championships. Obviously, that was 2 weeks ago, and we got to cover that. We got to talk to a lot of the athletes. Got a lot of athletes involved in the NCRA Sports Network, got to sign them up, and that was a big event. Obviously, we want to make sure everybody knows in our monthly schedule, the Track and Field District Tournament starts April 8th, and it goes through the 20th. It's a 2-week event, obviously, through all the different districts, and that's when you'll see the You'll see the best players out there, the best runners, the best jumpers out there. But we want to send it down here to Mr. 305 himself, Coach DC. Hope you had a good Easter, obviously. What's it looking like track down there and down in the bottom of the map?
Well, I'll tell you what. Coach Damien here. Damien talked about fast. Well, you talk about fast, I'm going faster. Okay, we're down to 305, but we got Miami, Booker, T, Washington, the Tornadoes. They're dashing through everything. I'll tell you what, the Tornadoes, you've seen them before. They all had on shoulder pads and helmets. So you've seen them before.
Actually, you probably didn't see them before because they're so fast.
These young men can really pick them up and put them down. Not to knock any other teams down there, because Miami Central's right on the trail. And Central, I believe they're like 6 or 7 time state champions from Dade County. So, Booker T. Washington's taking over right now, but it's going to be something to see what happens with Central and Carroll City and Jackson and Columbus. It's going to be special when Soft Ridge and American jump in that mix. They're all there for the males. But you go over to the females. The one and only Hook'em Bulls, the Miami Northwestern Bulls.
I hope you folks heard that at home, the emphasis in that. DC's actually, he's been a writer on a few blockbuster movies, so if you recognize that voice, that was DC getting some of these movie previews going for you in the theaters.
Exactly. Of course, as Damien always say, he's a buck. I'm definitely a Hook'em Bull. Hook'em Bulls, Northwestern Bulls, okay? They're right there on top. Those ladies are doing it. They won the state last year. This year, they've talked about having a little resistance from St. Thomas. But they say they're ready to take on St. Thomas. But St. Thomas out of Broward County, these girls are Greyhounds.
Yes.
These girls can do it.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be a real interesting matchup as far as a overall team sport with Northwestern and St. Thomas. However, South Dade, Killian, South Ridge, and Dr. Crop and Carroll City and the ladies are right there with them. So it should be very, very good. As we say, fast and faster. When faster meets fast, we're going to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, that's the track and field, obviously, Broward and Dade County. Once again, the track and field district tournament is right around the corner, April 8th through the 20th, 2 weeks, covering all the events. You need anything, you come to NCRASportsNetwork.com. We're going to be talking more track and field. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit baseball and softball in Broward and Dade County. Stay tuned.
You're watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports, NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Once again, we are the NCRA Sports Network coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. We want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Those of you watching on NCRASportsNetwork.com, HSPN Sports, many of my friends on Facebook. Obviously, Damien's got a lot of friends. Coach DC's got hookups everywhere. We don't even know where Coach DC's bringing people to come watch this show from, but we really appreciate all the support. And quickly, we want to talk a little bit. Man, sports are underway. NBA playoffs are right around the corner, obviously. Final Four is right around the corner. Absolutely. And we got the baseball season just started, professional baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games they have a season. What, 265, 365, 565?
I don't know.
They actually have 162.
Appreciate that, DC. With the 162 games, but the season just started. Opening day just started. A lot of people, a lot of fans around here. Obviously, there's a lot of people from up north, New Yorkers, Yankee. A lot of baseball's huge down here in South Florida. Obviously, with the Latin flavor down here, Miami Marlins and whatnot. But we just wanted to let everybody know we talk about all sports here. So make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff. But we just talked a little bit about track and field. We're going to obviously talk a little bit about baseball and softball in Broward and Dade County. It's been going. Obviously, the season is underway. Very deep into the season. Boys baseball is very competitive this season. A lot of the teams that weren't competing last year, it was very top heavy in the past couple years. But right now, I mean, these teams are. They've had great JV teams, so a lot of these kids have grown up and they're competing well. And as a matter of fact, there's some games going on right now. I'm gonna go through the list real quick. Obviously, don't want to keep you guys too long, but Wednesday, April 3rd, 7 o'clock game starts. So far, we got Piper against South Plantation, Pembroke Pines Charter against Hollywood Hills, Dillard against BA, Hallandale, Stranahan, Flanagan versus Cypress Bay. That's a big game. Coral Glades Jaguars away at Taravella, crosstown rivalry. It's a big game for them because obviously they're both competing for a district. Coral Springs Charter and University School, two big teams that are doing really well right now, almost evenly matched up. And Benjamin School, Archbishop McCarthy. Those are just a few of the games going on in this local area. They're happening right now. The NCRA Sports Network, we support all those kids, obviously. If you guys want any information pertaining to those games, you can come to us and find out that information. But, I mean, it's just big so far. And what more can we say other than these teams are competing? They obviously want to make a run at these playoffs, make a run at these districts, and hopefully make a state championship out of it. But there's a few top teams. I'm going to list off some teams that I personally have seen on the list that are in the top, and then we're going to go down the line. Obviously, the number one team I think we can all agree on, American Heritage Plantation. They've only lost 2 games on the season. One of them was a preseason game that didn't even really count towards their overall district record. But, I mean, they're just running through everybody right now. Flanagan High School, I would find them around second. Archbishop McCarthy, Coral Springs Christian, a small private school in Coral Springs area. And the fifth team, the top 5, Douglas Eagles. They've gone on a 4-game winning streak after losing to Coral Glades. And they actually are at the top spot in their district 8A. And they have officially claimed that top spot. Coral Glades is still in a great position. It's going to be a great end of the district for them. But Douglas definitely has crept that way up. So what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, of course, you got to give a lot of respect to all the baseball players and all they do throughout the season. It's a very tedious and very grinding type season. But, of course, just to, name off a few of the South Florida top teams. You already mentioned American Heritage, Douglas, and we can't forget about Archbishop McCarthy and Flanagan High School, at St. Thomas Aquinas, as well as Coral Springs Christians, as you mentioned before. These are some of the bigger schools that are actually doing big things, and they're making a lot of noise. But I'd be remiss not to go ahead and give Miami-Dade all the props in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to my colleagues here, the president and the king of 305 Miami-Dade, because you guys have actually like 30 schools in a 2-mile radius.
Oh, we have quite a few schools. I can't say that we're the king, but Miami-Dade County, right now Matter Academy over in Hialeah, they're right by Westland Mall at the end of 103rd or 49th.
I have no idea where that is, but I'm going to go ahead and say okay.
Right down next to Florida National University. That's Matter Academy. They're 15-1, and they have it rolling. Pace
15-1.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
They are 15-1, and Pace. Every year from the Hialeah area, we have about 9 schools in Hialeah. Hialeah is only the size of like Burger King, but we have like 9 or 10 high schools right there.
So the competition's high then?
The competition's stiff, very stiff, and we get a lot of guys sign major league contracts right out of high school there.
Wow.
Because, they breed baseball players. A lot of them come in from islands such as Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Dominicans, and Hialeah is basically mostly a Cuban society.
Boricuas.
And they love, no, that's Puerto Rican.
Yes, but you mentioned Puerto Rican. So I'm going to give the Boricuas
so
love.
DC, what you're saying pretty much is the way the Miami Marlins look so far and the way they ended last year, if they just went into Hialeah area and picked a few players, they might win a few more games.
They'll do a lot better.
Wow.
They'll do a whole lot better. But, you look at teams like Hialeah, for example. Hialeah started 0-3. They're 13-4.
Wow.
So, they just had to get it going. They have the pitching staff. They have great, people with the stick in their hand. They have great base runners. The coach is really a cool coach. I've never seen a guy so low-key. But, he gets it done. Then you have Belen down in Jesuit.
Yep.
Down in Miami off 8th Street. They're right down by FIU. So a lot of their kids go to FIU and play baseball there. FIU also has a strong program. But these are just some of the schools in the South Florida area that's doing real well. But I must take my hat off to Monsignor Pace and Matter Academy. They're just wiping the slates clean right now.
Okay. Well, that's baseball in Dade County. Obviously, we spoke a little with Broward County. Also, the monthly schedule, we got to give you guys a little track and field information. Baseball districts start April 22nd through the 26th. They will be held at the Coral Springs Sportsplex. You better believe the NCRA Sports Network will be out there in full effect, watching these kids, covering these kids, getting interviews with these kids, because this baseball district's around the corner. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hot. With the way that this season's been going, I mean, what can expect? You could see upsets going from these teams that barely creep into the districts, and they're going to end up actually knocking somebody out that'll surprise somebody. And right now, I have no idea who's even a favorite for the states right now, because that's how close these teams are, to where a little bit different in football, where you can pick like a Miami Central, where they look like they're doing really good, University School in their district, but these districts are so close and so tight. Baseball's really competitive up here in Broward County and Dade County, so make sure you guys stay tuned with that. We're going to send it down to a little bit different of a pitch. It's kind of an underhand pitch, but I actually hear it's harder to hit that ball than it is a regular baseball, so I've never tried it. I don't know, but we're going to send it to the girls' softball. What's going on, Damien?
Well, I mean, the females, they're doing it big. I mean, again, whatever the men can do, the women are doing it at a different pace, at an even better pace, and a more strategic pace. We're looking at right now American Heritage. The ladies are doing it big, just like the men doing in baseball. Looking at St. Thomas Aquinas, wrapping at number 2. Coral Springs Charter, your alma mater, doing big in softball. Pines Charter, Westminster Christian Academy in Fort Lauderdale, and also we're looking at Taravella High School, that's in Coral Springs, and of course we'll be remiss not to mention Cypress Bay. But you also got to keep in mind University School, Western, and Cooper City. These ladies are doing a great job. They're doing it at a high level. I'm telling you, American Heritage they've only lost one game. Only one game. So, I mean, right now, the softball team is doing a phenomenal job. The ladies, I'm right now, I think because we're covering so much more lady sports, I mean, you really see the competition at an elite level. Some of these ladies you're going to see, on the collegiate level. Unfortunately, they taken softball out of the Olympics, so you're not going to see them there. But, you'll see them somewhere, and it's very exciting.
DC, obviously you've trained athletes for a long time through all different kinds of sports. What's your opinion on, obviously, we obviously want to see girls flag football. A lot of girls sports get as mainstream as it can, get these girls in colleges. What do you think from a training aspect? Do you see forecasts in the future that girls are going to be training, getting specific trainers just to be able to compete at a high level, where instead of the high school sports for some of the girls, it's almost like a rec sport, to where it's actually getting more competitive in the counties right now?
Well, I don't know if you've been to any of these games lately, but it's not rec anymore.
That's good.
It's not rec anymore. They get at it. And yes, the girls, they compete now. They are training now for other sports that will cross-train with football, basketball, and things like that. For instance, in Dade County, the flag football will have a Final Four. Also, we're having the Final Four coming up here soon. They'll have a Final Four when they get down to the finals. They're not there yet, but once they get down to the finals, they will have a Final Four. But the girls are definitely training to become some of the best athletes out there. They're just as competitive. They're just as athletic. They're just as skillful as the males. They may not be as fast or as strong, but at their level, they're tops.
But not to mention, not to disrupt you there, but also take consideration. I mean, it was I think it was probably meant as a joke, but maybe not. Mark Cuban is actually thinking about actually
I saw that.
drafting Brittany Griner. And another thing, for those that don't know, that's the Lady Baylor, 6'8" center, who's I think number 2 all time for scoring in women's basketball collegiately.
I know she had more blocks than anybody in any
sport. Yeah, and male and female. I think she had like 400 or something
like
that nature.
Mutombo.
Yeah,
Not in my house.
She was going crazy, but at the same time too, if you notice that now, the new trend for whatever reason when it comes to the men is to only play whatever sport you're good at. Ladies, they're playing everything. So you'll see the same lady playing volleyball, that go into soccer, that may go into softball, that go into a flag football and basketball. They're playing 2 and 3 sports, whereas a lot of the men now, because a lot of them, wherever they're getting their advice from, telling them, hey, don't play any more sports, you'll mess up your career.
Yeah.
So, that's also a big difference. We're piggybacking on what Coach DC said.
So big things, obviously, in the softball area. Big things in the diamond altogether. We're going to go and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little girls flag football. Stay tuned.
Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
There are over 1,800 colleges and universities in the nation. There are over 10 million high school student athletes that graduate each year. Only 0.08% of these student athletes that graduate receive full scholarships.
We're here, we got your back.
And you can go back and get your college degree and come back and help us, man.
It all started with a dream. And now it's up to us to keep it alive.
If you're sitting out there and you're wondering, you have to start that process.
Education comes first. You never know what the future holds.
Gave me a better opportunity to make it in life. Live your dreams.
How far are you willing to go?
I love seeing that KDA commercial. Every time it comes on, it just gives me chills. Seeing the Martin Luther King, obviously up there, Washington D.C. Seeing down there Booker T. Washington, coach getting in their faces, getting them ready to go, and it's just a great commercial altogether. Coach Lowe and everybody over at KDA keeping dreams alive, taking care of everything. Great show so far. We've actually got to cover a lot of topics. We got to talk a little track and field, baseball, softball, and we're going to talk a little bit about girls flag football. Before we get going, monthly schedule again, NCRA Sports Network. The Girls Flag Football District Tournament starts April 15th. It's through 15th through the 20th. Big tournament, obviously, for these girls. We've been hyping up girls flag football. Girls flag football is starting to become almost a phenomenon down here in South Florida. These girls are really starting to turn heads here and get people looking at it. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins Academy hosting the 7-on-7 and whatnot, and just the level of intensity, like we said with the girls softball, it's not. We don't ever want to consider it a rec sport, but in the past years, it was almost like anybody that came out was involved, got to play, and it was just people trying to get it for student hours and whatnot, just for fun. But it's really competitive, obviously, here, and we want to talk a little about it, right, guys?
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking also too. I want to really make sure that people really do understand the difference between actually playing the game of football and playing well as a girl or as a female. Listen, these young ladies are playing football at the right fundamental level. They are playing fundamentally sound football. They know the rules. They study the rules. They make sure that they have their teammates, and even some of the coaches that don't really know too much about what's going on, and they may be new to the system. They will break down these rules for you and really let you know. There's one lineup, and I look throughout the entire schedule, and I don't see them playing each other, but I would absolutely love to see Stranahan Dragons versus the Western Tigers. I would love to see that game. Maybe that's something they'll do and have set up a little playoff system. They're not going to play. I looked at both of their schedules, and they're just not there, but I would love to see Stranahan versus Western. Those two were two juggernauts at the Dolphins Academy flag football tournament.
Something changed here. Your head's not shiny anymore. What's going on?
Well, we're gonna do something a little new. We're gonna make sure that everybody sees that we're gonna have a little fun. We do things live here, so it was my idea. I just decided to do what I wanted to do because it's just what I do.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I do. My thing is that today I'm going to be wearing a different hat every week.
Okay.
The hat that I'm wearing right now is a H squared, which actually stands for stay hungry, stay humble. And this is something that I tell the kids all the time. When the actual equations of success is actually having humility, staying hungry, and the opportunity. You get those 3 things and you mix it all together, you actually have success. So this is something that, I just went ahead and I decided to get it made, and we're gonna have different things. I may have a different logo, may have a different team. You may see me in a Miami Dolphins hat. You may see me in a Florida State hat. Probably won't ever see me in a UM or UF hat. It's just not. I don't have those things. I don't know. You may see me in a Jamaican hat. My wife is Jamaican, so I don't know what I'm wearing.
Groundbreaking things here at the NCRA Sports Network. We got hats coming in.
That's it. Get ready. Get your hats out. Listen, bring it out there. Now also too, just to let everybody know too. Listen, all those players out there. Doesn't matter what sport you play. Make sure you go on the NCRA website, and if you've been assigned, or actually signed with a school, don't matter, what division the school is, make sure you let us know on the website, okay? Because we're still doing a lot of work. There's still a lot of players out there that need help in getting to school, and we don't want to go spinning our wheels and actually helping kids that already got into school.
Absolutely.
That's all I got to say.
Like we said, the Girls Flag Football District Tournament starts April 15th through the 20th. It's going to be a big thing. NCRA Sports Network will be there. You guys need any information, you come to us. Keep signing up, girls, all throughout the counties. We love seeing all the girls signing up for the website. Hopefully, if we can keep getting them going, there might be more girls sign up than boys soon enough. And you know what? They're talking trash on there and everything. They're getting hyped up.
Talk trash.
Well, I tell you what. I appreciate the Dragons and the Western Tigers. Are they Western Tigers?
The Western Tigers.
I appreciate them, but I'll put Miramar and Tamarack up against anyone. I like those 2 teams.
Coach, there's no school in Tamarack.
The Tamarack School, Taravella.
Taravella, there we go.
See, that's why I'm from 305.
This is live, folks. We let the bloopers flow here at the NCRA Sports Network.
That's why I'm from 305.
He did. Now, I can't blame DC there. He was a football coach for Tamarack Cougars because I play for the Coral Springs Chargers, so I know where he's coming from when he says Tamarack. We don't want to hold him any faults, but we know what he's talking about, Taravella High School, obviously.
Is Taravella actually in Coral Springs?
It is. It's right there on the border, though.
Oh, okay.
It's right there on the line. As soon as you pass over, it's Coral Springs.
Southgate,
it's
river,
right there.
That river says that's the line.
Yeah, there might be people in Tamarack that claim Taravella's Tamarack, but it's a Coral Springs school. So.
Okay.
And if it wasn't, it'd probably be North Lauderdale.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, I'm looking forward to see that district. We'll see a lot of the ladies, and also too, we want to make sure that we understand that we're not only just covering sports, we're actually also covering events as well. So if you're in the band, the color guard, whatever, hey, join this thing. We're gonna help everybody out. Those team managers, you're somebody too. Everybody that's anybody that know that there's somebody, join it. NCRASportsNetwork.com. Join us.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's been a great show so far. We got to cover a lot of events. And earlier we got to talk a little bit about saying we don't just cover high school events. Us being athletes, us being sports people, we live it and breathe it. We want to talk, obviously, NCAA March Madness tournament. We're in the Final Four. So before we go, we're going to go ahead and go down the line, give our picks of who we think is going to win it all. And I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. 305 start it up because when it comes down to me, I'm obviously going to pick the right team. So go ahead and let you guys go.
I'll start it out. First of all, I'm going to start it out by saying we got Louisville from the Big East taking on Wichita State. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then we have Michigan, the Wolverines, taking on the Syracuse Orangemen from the Big East.
What a game.
Give me Syracuse, Jim Boeheim, and that zone defense.
Wow.
I'll take Syracuse. I'll take Syracuse with the upset there. And on the other side, hey, Big East again. I'm from the Big East. Pittsburgh's in the Big East. Louisville, how can you knock them? They're always there.
Correction, Pittsburgh was in the Big East. They're no longer going to be in the Big East. They're coming to the ACC, and they're getting ready to be crunched.
But they're still in the Big East this year.
So who you got going to? Who's going to win it all, DC?
Louisville.
Okay, go ahead, Damien.
I am going for Michigan against the Orangemen. What is an Orangeman? I don't. Anyway, I'm going with the Michigan Wolverine. Maybe because one of my former players, Denard Shoelace Robinson, who will be being picked up during the draft this year, is soon to be an alumni. And I'm actually going for. I'm going for the big upset. I'm going Wichita State.
Oh, okay.
And Michigan is going to win it all.
Wow. Okay, good pick.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
What you on?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that being a Miami Heat fan, growing up, raised in South Florida, I know who Tim Hardaway is. I know who Tim Hardaway's son is, and I have seen a killer crossover many times, and I've seen his son do it to perfection. So I'm going to go ahead and say Michigan over Syracuse in that game, and I'm going to have to go with, as my friends know that are watching at home, I picked Louisville to win it all about 2 weeks ago, and with that kid, with his injury, hopefully he gets healed up. Obviously, we want to hope that he's healed up. That was a gruesome injury that we saw.
Oh, yeah, and the Joe Theismann
it's brought their team together, obviously. And I think that Louisville is going to play Michigan, and Louisville will win it all and be crowned the champion. And that is our Final Four picks, obviously, from the three.
One thing before we go. There were over 8 million brackets filled out.
Every last one of them.
There was 0 correct.
Wow.
Especially on the women's side. You can't forget about the women's side.
That's true.
Hey, Louisville put it on Baylor. And also too, newsflash, get ready for another thing that we're getting ready to do. It's called After the Whistle. Ryan and I we're doing some big things. All I got to say is backyard. If you don't know what the phenomenon is, go ahead and Google it. Backyard workout. It is bananas. It's crazy. You're going to see some athletes of tomorrow. You're going to see some athletes of yesteryears. And all coming together to help these young men. It's going to be awesome.
I haven't personally seen backyard workout, but I've seen when my brother comes home from the backyard workout. So I'm excited to see what kind of footage we bring from that. Obviously, after the whistle stuff that's going on with these kids, you're going to see a lot more in-depth NCRA sports stuff from the heart. Obviously, we want to get to these kids, get in the heart, and show them that education, athletics, and just the way you treat people. I mean, it's a way of life.
Shout out to Paul Baker, Larry Jenkins, Black Shat, BP, Bulldog. It's the whole crew, man. We get it in, and we get it in nice. Big Al, Little Al. We are having fun. Debo, LA, the rest of them. Paul Baker is the man. I'm telling you right now, Paul Baker is the man. You don't know who he is. Y'all better find out who he is. He's the top trainer that no one knows about.
I heard a lot of nicknames there, but we're looking forward. We're looking forward to NCRA Sports Network, KDA being involved over there. Before I let Damien wrap this thing up, it's been a great show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. NCRA Sports Network, HSPN Sports. Those of you following us on Facebook, we want to send a shout out and a thanks, and we are very humbled that Boyd Anderson Cobras, they had us involved in their football banquet at the end of the season, and my father was involved with it. He actually got to DJ it. Damien, a couple other people from the NCRA Sports Network were actually over there involved in it, and it was just a humbling experience, obviously, for us. I got to see some of the footage. I got to talk to some of the guys afterwards. It was over with, and just a huge thing that they allowed us to be in there, allowed us to be able to just be involved with these kids that have gone through the program, all the stuff that's happened over there at BA, and it's just a huge thing. We want to thank BA, obviously, for having us involved. We're going to be more involved with them, obviously, as the year goes on. As the years go on, we want to see those kids come back, give back. That's what it's all about. Come back, give back, be involved in the NCRA Sports Network, be involved in the Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation. And that's all I'm going to say for the night. I'm done talking, so I'm going to let Damien go ahead and bring it on home.
And by the way, correction, Mr. Glenn III was not DJing.
Yeah, he wasn't DJing.
He wasn't like spinning the ones and twos, but he was an MC, did a phenomenal job. Tonto Irie was also there. Coach Wayne Blair did his thing, but the keynote speaker was actually Mr. Josh Bynes. That's number 49, the linebacker from the Baltimore Ravens. He also went on, even before then was at Auburn Tigers when he won a national championship with Cam Newton, and also before then Boyd Anderson Cobras. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the team. We got Coach DC to my right, Mr. 305. We got G4 to my left. He's the man all over Coral Springs. I'm Damian Hunt. We'll be right back next week. If you don't know who we are, we're NCRA Sports Network. We do it free for the kids. We do it live. And I'm telling you right now, we're getting ready to take over. Fort Lauderdale, we're starting with you. Dade County, you're soon coming through. NCRA Sports, we'll be right back.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 high school broadcast network, bringing you high school sports and events in the nation.